name is Melissa Petersen. We arrived in Uganda about 1 o'clock in the morning. This is in Tebi, where we flew into. We stayed at the missionaries' church. The girls stayed at the church. The boys stayed with the Stensis family. That's the missionaries that we worked with in Uganda. Uganda is a very mountainous country, more than I thought it was. There's lots of greenery, lots of mountains, very pretty. One encouraging thing about every trip with Operation Renewed Hope is Brother Jan Milton starts out every day with a devotional. There's always a theme for every week of medical clinics. And when we were in Uganda, the theme was prayer, and it was very encouraging. He's a very good speaker, and it's just encouraging to start your day off with a devotional that gets you started on the right track. We also go over at the beginning of the medical clinic how, just kind of a layout of how the clinic's going to be set up. You have, and this is Rick Williamson going over how our clinic will be set up, the layout of triage and where the doctors are going to sit, and we were going over this the night before the clinic, so that way once we got to the clinic site we could kind of get going pretty quickly to start clinic on time. This is Brother Keith Stensis, the family that we worked with in Uganda. They have a church there in Uganda. What a very sweet family, and very welcoming and opening their home to us while we were there. The streets of Uganda are very busy, very full of lots of people. This is a little village that was across from the missionaries' home where people are out selling things that they've made to make money so that they can live by. When we were walking on the streets one night, these children came and just started following us and holding our hands, and it was so sweet. They just walked with us for about 10 or 15 minutes. The first day of clinic was held on the very top of a mountain. One really neat thing to see is people come very early and they're waiting for us. When the bus pulls up to start the clinic, there are already many people that are sitting there waiting for us to get the clinic open so that they can come in and be seen by the doctors. Every day the clinic was in a different location, and we had to arrive and set up the tents and set up the different areas where the doctors were going to be sitting, where triage was going to be held. Our Operation Renewed Hope always brings an eye doctor, medical doctors, and dentist with us. Under the tents is where the doctors were, and the dentist as well. One thing I loved about Uganda is just the faces of all the children. I loved seeing all the children. They just kind of sat there and watched you and looked at you, and they loved to get their picture taken, which was really neat to see. We take so many things for granted here in the United States, just something as simple as preparing dinner or lunch, and you can see these women here have to work very hard just to prepare a meal for their family. You don't have to necessarily be in the medical field to travel with Operation Renewed Hope. This is triage. You can see we take blood pressure and temperature and respirations, and you can be taught how to do that. You don't necessarily have to have that background, but you can learn how to do that so you can be a help in the clinic. The overlying goal of these medical missions trips is to win souls for Christ and to share with them the gospel. And we always, on the Operation Renewed Hope trips, we always use a local person from the country to, or we bring someone from the United States, and through an interpreter they share Christ with them. One unique thing about women over there is they all carry their babies on their back. You can see the cloth there that she has wrapped around her, and that she's carrying her little baby on her back. This is Dr. Gibson, one of the dentists that travel with us, and he brings his own supplies. You can see a dental chair right there where patients can come and at least be comfortable while they get their mouth worked on. This is one of the medical doctors here, and once the patient gets triaged and called back to the medical clinic, here is where the doctor works with an interpreter and talks with the patient about whatever's going on with them physically so that they can help them. When you bring candy with you, the kids love you. And here's the kids love suckers and stickers and anything that you can bring. They just come running when you pull out any kind of candy. The children loved getting their pictures taken. They would run up and say, "Photo, photo," and they wanted to take a picture with them, and then they always wanted to see it. That's what they really enjoyed, is that they would turn around really quickly and they'd point to your phone or your camera, and they'd want to see the picture. You also, you sleep while you can on a medical mission trip. There's not a lot of time but you take advantage of the travel time that you have. It took about an hour or two to get to the different clinic sites, and so we always tried to catch a nap on the way. The equator was a fun place to stop and visit and take pictures. We were able to stop at the equator there in Uganda. We always stop and have a nice meal at a local restaurant and get to taste the local food there, which is really unique to that part of the country. One very special thing about Operation Renewed Hope is that once you travel with them, you really become part of a family, and you see people that you've seen on previous trips, and you get to talk with them and catch up with them, and it's always fun because once you go on one, you will definitely go on another.